All right, cool. Let's
You should have the link right there in the
yeah,
chat.
let's let
Okay.
me share and let's take a look here. Exciting. Do you think this login still works?
No, it would not.
Okay, so register again.
Yep.
You can see my screen.
Yes. Yeah, especially during development, I do not try to maintain data throughout my different updates simply because it forces me to make sure that like registration process is working and stuff like that.
Yep, fine.
Now, just so you know, first off, we are in developer mode. So everything the front end does, it does twice. So it's not as fast as it would be in a normal build mode.
And so what's the difference between developer and build mode?
In develop mode, it goes through every function called twice, basically, so that it can determine if all the types are exact as they need to be. It's basically a constringent analysis that it goes through once and then it runs it for real. But it does go through every function twice to
And
do
what
that.
just that's fine. Just
Yep.
just so I understand. Is that so like you can analyze it if there's a bug or something like that or
Actually, yeah. So the IDEs and the builds can actually catch the bugs then versus afterwards.
got it. Okay. And that's how we're gonna launch and with our dev launch is in developer mode or
Yeah, yeah. Actually, when they get it, they if they're just going to run it smoothly themselves, it will be in build mode. If they're going
okay.
to run it through like VS Code, they will be in dev mode. So they'll have the option to choose however they want to run it.
Okay, cool. All right. So all right. So where am I going first? Your
Okay.
pages?
Just so you know, this is right now the first screen that somebody would see.
Yes.
It can be changed. That's already in place now. So, but when you're actually a new user, we do not have any pages loaded right now for the new user. They would see this. Everything's functional on the screen. So if you want to check in like the plugin manager, we'll go to that first.
Plugin Studio. Oh, Plugin
No, plugin
Manager.
manager. Yep.
Yep. And that's the difference between Plugin Manager and Plugin Studio is this is where you go once the plugins have been built, and
Yep.
Plugin Studio is where you go to build them
Correct.
or
Correct.
modify
So
them and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. So this shows you that all the different plugins and the plugin modules that are installed currently.
Yep.
Everything I have installed at this point, I would consider live and not testing.
Okay,
So
cool.
I've ripped out all the test plugins, the crap that I had is sitting in there. So this is what a
I think
normal.
this looks really nice. I mean,
This needs to go to version 2, but I'm very happy with version 1.
yeah, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like, oh, wow, in terms of like design, but like we're really not trying to be, oh, wow, in terms of design. We want to give the ability for the um, person to do that. Oh, we're
Exactly.
just,
This is for somebody to come in and see what's going on versus anything else.
what just happened right there? It just reloaded
Okay.
again.
It did it to me once before. I'm not sure if when I just went through this, I do not know if this is the caching coming through on Cloudflare or
Okay.
what, but it only happened once, and then I left them up just to watch if it happened again, but it didn't for some reason. So
Okay.
it's something I'm just became aware of, and it only happens on right now a new account that was created and Cloudflare link.
Okay.
So
So we can just, is that a bug we need to worry about or?
I don't know yet. It was the
Okay.
first because I haven't been through the Cloudflare link to play with these too much. So it
Got
was
it.
like, and I've been doing new accounts. Like my new accounts, I'm up to
All
like,
right. So we'll put it on the list to
yeah,
figure out.
yeah,
Let's see.
exactly. It is already on my list of the nuances that it took to recreate.
Okay. All right. So,
So from here,
yep.
okay, you can either go in and check one of these if you want to, but this screen is very basic right now, and it's just saying, hey, this is what's installed.
Okay.
Okay, so we want to go through. Let's go to BrainDrive Studio, or we can go to Settings. Your pick. Go to Settings first. So we can actually determine that. Now I have settings auto loading just simply for on my system, it moves faster, that it already sees already puts in the Olama information for me. However, if you wanted to change yours, all you'd have to do is tap the local settings right there. There you go. Yep. You could change whatever you wanted there for your actual Olama server. If you had an API key, you could test to make sure it's working. If you wanted to go down here and test right now to see if there's an Ollama server there, you could.
I would need Olama running though, right?
Yes.
And right now, when we
And we don't have to get that far that for what we're doing here, but I'm just explaining it as we're going.
okay, all right, cool.
Okay. So and then if you wanted to go to go to the drop down where it has LLM servers. No, there you go. Go to settings. You can do this is just to show you that you can separate things however you want when you're building plugins that handle settings for yourself or for other people. You could create your entire new category for settings if you wanted to have Billy's coaching. And these would be all the settings for Billy's coaching, and they would be separate from everybody else's.
Like, so if you wanted different colors for your dark theme or whatever, and
Different colors. Let's say you wanted to have a system prompt or things of that nature, and you put that information in settings. You could then separate it even further by having Billy's coaching its own settings.
cool.
So you would have complete power to do what you want. Just basically with our hey, it's your brain drive.
Right. Your
Okay.
your AI, your rules.
Yep. And then now let's go upward to BrainDrive Studio. Now there's 5 modules, 2 are taken up by settings. The other 3 are actually plugins that you could use for building a page. Okay. No, so the first thing we need to do is get a page because you have none available. So that's
Okay.
the little plus key sign there. There you go.
Okay.
And you can either do one of 2 things at this point. You can rename your page if you want to, or you don't have to.
Okay.
If you want
Rename
to
it here.
just go to read it right there. You can put in whatever you want for your new page.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's open up your plugins.
Here.
Yep. So let's do we'll go with module selection first. I always start with that when I'm testing. Now I do want to work on this aspect here. As I've been playing with it a little bit this weekend. I really think there's some redundant calls in this, and it could be faster. I
Okay.
also want to I also want to play with the viewport because that could use some work as well.
Okay.
But everything working are just things I've noticed. So if we go ahead and move the select models, you see that on the top right.
Here.
Yep. If you just move that over to the left, so it's in the left corner. There you go. Oh,
Okay.
and just so you know, since this is on my server where you're running it, the models that you're seeing are sitting on my Ollama.
Yeah.
Does that make
That's fine.
sense? Okay.
Yeah, right now I'm logged into your server.
Yep.
It's not on my computer like it will be once people download it and blah blah blah.
Exactly. But this is at the same time a very good example of how managed hosting would work.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we open up the plugins again, and let's go to AI chat history and drag this over. Oh, and let's go ahead and move that on the right side of the top bar. Now you have no chat history right now, so it won't do anything other than no conversations yet.
Okay.
And now let's open up the plugin again so that we can get the last piece to this. And that's the AI Prompt Champ version 2.
Okay.
And drop that. And then you can go ahead and space that better for however you want. Nope. You go to the bottom right
Yeah.
to
Yep.
move it out. There you go.
Fine.
And then the top right to move it or space it differently, however you wish to go there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for testing purposes, you can go ahead and type in a message right now. Now you had no streaming on, so you'll have to wait till you get all the tokens back, but there you go.
Okay. Good.
And see, now you have chat history starting to form.
Okay.
When that happens, you have the option, of course, to rename your chat history however you want, or delete them. That's when that management aspect comes up. You only have one.
Okay.
And is only that's only a single history. But let's say you wanted to do a new chat now. Now, if you hit the plus sign, no, no,
Uh,
no, 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 right here, right in the chat history button or chat history window. There you go. You hit that one. Oh
yep.
no, you hit the configuration. There you go.
That doesn't do
Oh,
anything.
okay, okay. You have to wait till we get this on a page. Okay, so
Okay.
let's get this on a page.
Okay.
So first, let's go to publish, which is the up arrow. See where Dave's page, right to the right. There you go. Now we're just going to do an easy publish.
What's the difference?
Easy publish is just going to quickly throw it down to your pages. Oh, oh, you have
That's
an,
because it's
yep, yep. That's not being escaped out. I'll mark that down.
fine. It doesn't. Yeah, that's fine.
And this is where them redundant calls, I've noticed them is like, so let's go to your pages now. And underneath that, you see we have Dave's page.
Yep.
So now you can see the little plus right there. And you can this is, hold on. Let's do one thing real quick because I noticed this also this morning. If you notice the size is a little bit bent out, or out of the viewport,
Yeah.
let's go click your your BrainDrive real quick. Just see if this worked the same way in my testing. Okay, now click David's pages and see what happens. There we go. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not recognizing the viewport the first time out, and like I said, it's just something I noticed on Cloudflare, and I just need to figure out why. But now you can go back to that. So everything you did in testing is actually live, so that you can see what it's doing, and then when you go live, you can clean it up however you want.
Okay. So now I want to have this at the bottom like it is in my project. So I can go to BrainDrive Studio and then I can drag this down below here
For chat history. Yep.
and then I can move this to so where they're all like aligned
Yep.
with each other. And now I need to
Say.
save
Yep.
and I need to publish it again.
Nope. Nope. It's published. Oh.
Let me try it again.
Why would that have not taken that? Hold on. Give it a. No problem. That is not okay.
All right, that's okay, but
No,
I
because
get the concept.
yeah, and
Um,
honestly, I've never tried that one, but it should be taking it. I'm not sure why it's not
what about if I
taking.
refresh this page?
Let's. Oh, it could be cached. Yeah, let's go to your pages. I don't know. I don't know if it'll cache if it's cached or what. Nope, there's something in there that's grabbing it from another location. I'm not sure why.
Okay, but I get the concept
Yep.
here. Okay. Um, cool. And I get what this. Okay, so basically now I have my model page, my model, my conversations, and I can switch between conversations. And I've just set that up as a page.
Yep.
And is each one of these things a plugin?
Yes. Actually, there are modules, but yes, a plugin. So if you wanted, let's say
What's the
for
difference between a module and a plugin?
a plugin is we'll call it a group. So if Bill's coaching, you have Bill's coaching plugin package, and inside Bill's plugin package, he has 6 modules, and they're basically 6 little containers that you can work with.
Okay. So a module plugins are made up of modules.
Yes.
Okay. So select model is a module, conversation history is a module,
Yep.
and chat v2 is a module.
Yep.
But this is a page, not a plugin, right?
Actually, the entire concept is a page. Yes.
Well, is there a plugin here at all?
Yes. No. No. That is a It's okay. We can call them plugins because it's probably easier for non-technical people to grasp. Okay, they're all plugins. The only thing is when you set up plugins, especially when you're dealing with something that you can have a lot of plugins, you group them up in your own little package because these all in your mind these would all belong together. Like it's this one is BrainDrive's basic AI chat
Could I
plugin.
make that? So could I make this page into a plugin so people don't have to select the model, they don't have to select the conversation history, they don't have to select like they don't have to build these three things
That's
separately?
coming. That's coming next. Yes. So that when the first person logs in, they would automatically have this entire page set up for them. Does
But
that make
that
sense?
still wouldn't be a plugin.
Correct. Now, we could get this to the point very easily where you could hand somebody a page, and that page comes with these plugins and modules combined. So they instantly, when they install this, they
Yeah, I
have that
got
set up.
that.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I'm not, this is not, I'm just trying to understand naming conventions
Yep.
here. It doesn't really matter as long as the functionality's there.
Yep.
So select model is a module, not a plugin.
Correct.
And why is it a module, not a plugin?
Because I needed another word to differentiate between the two. That's
You,
all.
why? No, but that's fine. I'm fine with
Yep.
module.
Yep.
But what differentiates a module
What
from a
makes okay?
plugin?
Um, okay. Let's go to plugin BrainDrive Studio. The plugin is, as you can see, BrainDrive's basic AI chat. So the plugin is a concept. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay,
because BrainDrive Basic AI Chat is made up of these three modules.
correct. Now, the reason why they're different is let's say we create BrainDrive's improved AI chat, right? And each one has an upgraded version of those. And this is just for the example's sake. The ability for the user to go, well, I like two of these, but I don't like the other one. In fact, I liked how module selection was done in the first one better. It appeals to me. So they have they take the model selection from the basic, and then they can take the other two options from the improved chat, and they can build their page however they want.
Okay.
And that's why you have a difference in you have a concept, which is the plugin, or the grouping, and then in that grouping is made of whatever little specific behaviors you have. And those
So
are in modules.
modules are the building blocks of plugins.
Yes.
Okay. I that totally makes sense to me. I guess what I would expect, and again, it doesn't necessarily have to work this way, but I was thinking I could just like, okay, here's BrainDrive Basic AI Chat. It's got
Mm-hmm.
these three modules.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to drag each one of these over here, these building blocks separately. I can just drag the plugin over, and all three of those things are here.
We could probably get to there. There would be no, it's just improving the drag and drop
But
aspects of this.
I guess right now though, just again, it's fine, but just to
Yep.
make sure I understand, plugins are really just like a grouping. It's an organizational thing. It's not
Yep.
actually a functionality.
Correct.
Okay, but basically, again, just to make sure I'm thinking about it
Yep.
right. If I want BrainDrive Basic AI Chat, I just go to Basic BrainDrive AI Chat and I drag over the whatever modules. If there was
Yep.
one or five or whatever, I just drag them all over.
Correct. Now let me explain to you why this would
I,
make better sense. Okay.
Let me explain it to
Yep.
you.
Okay.
um, it's because, all right, I love select like model and conversation history. I like
Yep.
the way that they work. I want my chat to do something different and look differently.
Yep.
No problem. Drag AI prompt chat v2 and AI chat history modules over and then go to another place or whatever, go get another module and use
Yep.
that module for the chat.
Correct.
Okay, but I guess all I'm saying then is everything is like it's not a plugin, it's modules,
Well,
right?
you can. It depends on whatever people want to establish on their naming convention. It works. For me as a developer, because I'm under the hood, I have it broken down into each piece as it grows up into the system. As a person who's playing with this and they're not worried about the tech wise, everything would be a plugin for them. I would see no reason why somebody would want to get caught up on the nuances of technology terms. Does that make
I
sense?
well, if we're just gonna leave this like it is,
Yep.
then I like when I think about a plugin, I think about something that does, I guess, more than just like I'm gonna have a drop down here or whatever, even though I
Yep.
know that that could be it, right? The
Yep.
module makes sense to me. It's
Yep.
like module makes sense to me as a building block of whatever I want to do, right? But I
Yep.
would say, um, not that this really matters right now, but just because we're here and
Yes.
thinking about it, um, the page is kind of the plugin.
It isn't a concept if you're looking at it from Katie's standpoint. The page is where you're at because they don't want to get down in the development area. They don't want to get their hands dirty, and I don't blame them. They don't even want to.
Besides, but basically, I can say, okay, right now, the way the system is set up today,
Yep.
if I wanted to give Katie something to use that looks like this,
Yep.
I could just create a page and share it with her, right?
Exactly. That would be and that's where we're moving towards. We have
Right.
to get, we're walking right now, we're crawling right now, and then we move up to walking and running.
Okay.
And we get to running, that is where instead of handling Katie with any type of plugins or modules or even BrainDrive Studio, Katie gets handed, here's a page that you can use for doing AI chats. Here's all
And
the
right now, this which we're calling a plugin, BrainDrive Basic
yep.
AI Chat, is really just an organization of modules.
Yes. Yep.
But the only difference is from being able to drag this over and have all three of these things. Like another thing we could do here, like there's multiple ways to handle this. And again, this is not a something we're putting on the backlog right now. I'm just
Yeah.
spitballing. Even if this was just a plus sign right here and all three of these moved over,
Yeah.
you know what I
Now,
mean?
here's one and let me show you why. Okay, I have nothing against that. If we said go, go. But one reason why I wouldn't is let's say I decided to do a different version of AI chat history, right? Because right now we're using a drop down. But if you see on other tools, and OpenAI is a good example, on the left side, they have that entire list of chat history. It's not a drop down, it's a list that you see. So what if rather than a drop down, I did a list version as well? This would give you a choice between how you wanted to handle your chat history, and you could either use the drop down or you could use the list. And there it's like you don't just take them all now, you take the choice.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But I'm saying adding a plus button here does not prevent you from adding a plus button that adds all three of these to the page does not prevent you from doing what you just said. You still have
Correct.
that capability. It's
Yep.
not we're replacing the ability to drag the modules over individually with the plus thing. It's we're giving you another option.
Correct. Yes. That's why I said, first of all, I said, well, not that I'm saying no to it. I'm just letting you know why I went one way. But yes, adding it'd be just nothing more than adding the
Okay,
ability to
cool.
drag and drop the entire list over, and then you can figure out where you want them placed.
Okay. So we've had our first BrainDrive chat
Yes.
with the dolphin model.
Yep.
I should this is an tell me a dirty joke because this is an unfiltered model, right?
I believe it is. I believe Dolphin is.
All
Went with the
right.
same one from before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's dirty in a sense, the guts.
Maybe
All
you have to
right.
go with uncensored.
Yeah. So all right, cool. Love it. What else do you want to show us?
That's where we're at right now.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, hold on. We can do one
yep.
more thing.
Okay.
Let's say, good example. We'll show you. First of all, we'll go with the difference. Go to your brain drive and select there. Yep. Oh, sorry, on the side menu. There you go. Now that is the current page that is there. It is hard coded. And one day I want to get to the point where it's not hard coded. But now let's go back to BrainDrive Studio. And let's go to publishing first. That's the green up arrow. I believe it's green, might be blue. Let's go to publishing, because now we're going to get into some of the details that we can do. Let's go to your routing or page routing and do the drop down. And we are going to go to your BrainDrive. Select that, and now let's publish the changes.
Save.
Yep. Let it do its thing because it has to go through all the little sequences, and now it's going to start to reload everything. Now you see we have moved your BrainDrive. Actually, I have moved. We've moved Dave's pages. So it's now under your BrainDrive.
Okay.
Okay. But we want to it's the only page there, and we want it to be the default page for your BrainDrive. So let's go to
Okay.
let's go to the routing, which is to the right of the publishing button. And let's go to your BrainDrive. You should be able to select over it. And when you do that, you have the ability to edit. If you see the little editing icon, there you go. Now, under default page, that should be able to let you drop down. Ooh, none. I will have to figure out why that is not working for you.
But that would be Dave's page. And then
Yes,
when I log in the future, instead of going to the Your Brain Drive hard coded page, it would go to Dave's page.
correct.
Okay.
And then if you wanted, let's say for some reason you wanted to get back to the old page, you just select none, it will take it out, and then it'll allow you to do that. Or allow you to go back to the default page.
And
So
would your brain drive still be there or no?
your BrainDrive would still be there. You would lose the hard-coded page, and it would now give you your created page. It would allow you
Okay.
to replace it.
And what if I wanted to go back to the hard coded
You
page?
the back to the hard, you would simply have to remove your existing default page.
Okay.
And you
Cool.
have the option. You can keep, like I said, you can keep it how it is right now, and you have best of both. If you click out of there, see right now you would have best of both worlds. You would have the hard-coded page still at your BrainDrive, and then you'd have the ability to also click there and go to the front page.
Yep. All right. I want to move this back under pages.
Yep.
So
So let's go to Brain. There you go.
hold on. Let me see if I can do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
Hold on. Let me play around a
Yep.
little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
It's for renaming.
Right?
Yep. Now I have a feeling that as I play with this more, I am probably going to put publishing and routing under this same button, just with tabs or something like that. Just because I'm noticing as I'm playing with it, there's a lot of back and forth that I feel is unnecessary.
Okay.
But conceptually, when I was coding, it was like they should be separate. They're separate type of organisms. But when I'm using it as a user, it's poorly done.
Okay. Good. Cool. All right. So just let's just talk through from the beginning. What is this? Like why are we doing this system?
Um, because you're bored? No. But at the end of the day, it's like you use every other tool that exists today, or if I use, or anybody uses. It's basically comes down to what somebody else envisioned what you want at the end of the day, because that's what all the tools are based of it. It doesn't matter if you go from the lowest person that just released an aggregator today, or you found something on GitHub, or you go all the way up to the cream of the crop of Anthropic or OpenAI. They're all done the same thing. Some developer figured out what you wanted and gave that to you. Okay. We're doing this because if you're going to have your AI system where it is what you imagine it could be, and you could use it as such, you would have to have a tool that would allow you, as we were going through on BrainDrive Studio, where if you have three choices between how you want to see chat history displayed, you would be able to select the one that you want to use for whatever reason, either aesthetics, functionality. It's easier for you to rename them because you're always renaming them. So you pick that one, but you would have that choice. And then you would have all of your data sitting right there, and nothing is preventing you from being able to export it, upload it, play with it, tweak it. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, you have that feature and functionality right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, and this comes back to like freedom and ownership. And it's one thing, it's great to be able to own something, but if you don't have the freedom to be able to customize it to be what you want it to be, like how free are you? You're still sort of operating within someone else's walls. Although operating within those walls that you own, is better than not. But the best of all worlds is you own it, you control it, you customize it, you build on it, you make it into whatever you want it to be, right?
Yes. Yep. And then, like a good example of yesterday when I was, or Saturday and Sunday when I was working on the AI chat history plugin. If it wasn't for my own mistakes, and there were things that I was cleaning up in the back end while I'm doing that, almost anybody could have did that because I used the AI to almost create the entire thing. It wasn't until the very end when I wanted to do very specific. I wanted to look very specific that I get down to the code level and got the AI out of the way. And it was like, no, I don't want to play 20 questions with you. I just want to get it done because I have
Mhm.
something else to do with Sunday. And that kind of thing. But it's like this could get to the point where anybody could create a plugin. You just have to know how to ask the question. And even that could be tweaked a bit because it could go through a pre-prompter of, hey, you want to build a plugin, and then it asks you 20 questions, and then it says, boom, there you go. Is this what you're looking for?
Right. And so that's the make it easy to build, control, and benefit from your own AI system. The
Yep.
easy part is right now we're putting the technical infrastructure to make it possible. It's already easier than a lot of other systems, but the end goal here would be that you don't have to know anything about code or developing at all to be able to customize your system and build these plugins, et cetera, because the AI will help you do that.
Exactly. In fact, it's not just easier. We're the only ones that even allow it to happen.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's a differential line right there between everybody else. It's like if you can pick any system like Typing Mine. And I bring them up because they just created a new memory RAG as well. They just released it this weekend. It's like, but what if that RAG doesn't work for you? Because 9 times out of 10, when people say, "Hey, we have a new RAG system," it's already broke.
Yeah.
They don't work as advertised.
Right.
It's like you can't do anything about it. You're stuck with whatever that developer said is great, but it isn't great for what you're doing. Whereas this, it's like, hey, not just if you created one or if you Beck created one that works great. If your technical skills or somebody is or somebody advertises one, you could implement it. You're not
Right.
waiting for BrainDrive to get off their butts and do something. You have accessible to an entire world of developers who could get involved and create that for you exactly how you imagined it being.
Right. And so if you're a developer, you can take this, you can start building on it immediately. If you're not a developer, but you envision something that you want to build, you can hire a developer to build on top of this. You don't need our permission. It's all ready for you to start building on top of. And once you download it, you own and control it. We couldn't mess with it even if we wanted to.
Yep.